Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
And here we go.
Live from the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, welcome to episode 68 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast, the official podcast of theepicreview.com, thepicreview.com. It is proudly presented by thegww.com, the Geeks Worldwide Radio Network. I, of course, am one of your hosts, the real Brad Bell, and I'm honored to have back with me again my co-host, Andrew Stokes, also known as
Andrew Stokes.
Andrew, this is a very special edition of the Confirmed Epic Podcast that we are recording today. And can we go ahead and say we're recording this a little bit in advance?
Yeah, absolutely. So our normal podcast, 67, is going to be out a day late this week, which if you're listening to this, you already know because it's a week later.
And that's Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, and that's this week's podcast. But we're recording this one before that. Because you're getting ready to go to the beach, one of your favorite places.
Exactly. Pawleys Island, South Carolina, to have that old-fashioned at the pit like we talked about on the Confirmed Epic Podcast.
Confirmed Crap Podcast.
Confirmed Crap Podcast number 2. Yeah. But I'm excited about that. This is going to give us a chance to drop a pod that week, even though I'm going to be out of town. So we're going to take care of that. But
special for another reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it special, Andrew?
Oh, well, it's also because we're at my new place. I mentioned I was moving, and I moved in for the most part, still unpacking things, obviously. As you look at my barren walls, Brad.
You need some Mondo posters on those walls.
That's not what I need.
I told Andrew Stokes when he gets married, and it's not a question of if, it will be when. I'm going to get him the Phantom City Creative Godzilla poster from South by Southwest 2014. That's the one with the kind of the mushroom cloud making Godzilla. So that's a reason to get married, Andrew Stokes.
I mean, we could use things for the house, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I got Evan a Mondo poster. It was a heart attack / wedding gift. I gave him my George R. Martin.
See, I would have liked that for the wedding gift. That'd
signed
be great.
Game of Thrones Phantom City Creative Mondo poster.
That's one of the things I think just about I guess our generation is a fair amount of us get married later in life, and it's like we don't need a lot of the household essentials. You know what I mean? A lot of people already have these things. They're already kind of living on their own. If anything, you probably have too much. You have like 2 blenders because you had a blender. Your significant other maybe had a blender.
I have
Blender's
like
a random
3
thing.
toasters.
I don't. Do you really?
Married. When I got married, I gave one away and kept one as a backup toaster. I think Jerry Barbecue 17 Reed bought us the toaster that we use.
My friend Jacob that just got married gave me a washer. Because he had an extra washer after getting married. So
speaking of household appliances, let's get into a little Confirmed Epic Podcast housekeeping. I just want to give a big shout out to Timothy Belmont.
Yes.
One of our, if not our biggest fans.
We may start calling him Super Fan after this.
He is the super fan, Timothy Belmont, because if it wasn't for Timothy Belmont's not $7 like we asked for, but $10 donation, this podcast right now would not be occurring. For those of you that don't know, Andrew Stokes, a.k.a. Andrew Stokes, would not go see Transformers the last night unless someone paid for his ticket. So we began a campaign for $7.
It was, just to clarify, it was because I did not want to see this movie, and I did not want to give them my money.
But that being said, our original release and our re-release of episode 32 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast, The Age of Extinction review, is one of the most downloaded, most popular, most retweeted episodes of the Confirmed Epic Podcast of all time. So I knew this was sure to be entertaining.
Okay, hopefully.
So the plan was to just do a podcast on Transformers with Amos, which we did.
You did a crossover podcast.
Exactly.
The Confirmed Amos podcast? Is that what you guys called it?
The Confirmed Amos podcast.
That was good. I listened to that. That was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun because Amos is a lifelong G1 Transformers fan. But thanks to Timothy Belmont donating that 10, he donated an extra $3.50 so Andrew could get some caffeine or candy to keep him awake.
$3.50, brought a cup of coffee. Actually, to be honest, the $10 wasn't even enough to cover the ticket. It was like 10 something.
And I was afraid at that point Andrew Stokes was going to back out.
At 34 cents was too much. And actually, funny enough, because I went with two friends of mine, including the aforementioned Jacob, and I actually wound up paying for his ticket as kind of like a thank you. He was very helpful in my move, and so I was kind of like, hey man, thanks for it, But my other friend had a couple discount codes, so their tickets were only like $5 each or whatever. So
why did they have those discount codes?
Because my one friend's dad just bought, I think it was a collection of the first 4 movies on Blu-ray or something like that.
Smart man.
I guess.
Now he's roped into having to buy the 5th Transformers The Last Night.
Yeah, well, I mean, his son enjoyed the film, so.
Just quick side note story here. So, Abby and I share Amazon Prime account, my wife Abby.
Okay.
And that's not a bad thing, but maybe giving her my password maybe we should have got a separate Amazon Prime accounts. Now, usually if it's something and it's under $100 and I pre-order it, Abby just lets it go. It's no big deal.
Right.
Kind of an agreement we have.
Yeah.
But certain pre-orders she'll cancel. She has literally canceled my 4K Transformers The Last Night Blu-ray 3 times. So I have given up pre-ordering this on Amazon. I'm buying the damn movie.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you'll go to Best Buy or something when it comes out.
Yeah, I'll go to Best Buy like day one and take a picture and put that crap on my Twitter at The Real Brad Bell.
Yeah.
But I'm just so sick of her. Like, I have Alien Covenant pre-ordered, The Mask of the Phantasm on Blu-ray, and Kong Skull Island on 4K.
Yeah.
And those are fine by her. That's completely fine.
Right.
Transformers The Last Night, which she knows from hearsay, this is a terrible movie.
Yeah, she hasn't even seen it herself.
She doesn't want me to own it.
Yeah, but it can't be too terrible. You enjoyed it.
I pre-ordered it, so we'll get into that a little bit later. On another housekeeping note, I encourage you to check out our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, search Confirmed Epic Podcast. There's a YouTube tab at ththeepicreview.com doing some cool stuff. YouTube's not our main outlet. Podcasting through iTunes and putting it out through SoundCloud and you guys downloading the podcast is where we get most of our fan interaction and listenership. But we're just trying some new stuff out on YouTube. So check that out. The Confirmed Epic Comeback, as well as the Rapid Reflections. Just did one on House of Cards Season 5. Also, our T-shirts.
Yeah.
We have sold like 14 T-shirts in a week. And only half of those have come from myself and my family. So I got to say, I'm really excited about this. We did them through TeePublic, and I want to give a shout out to the Sight and Sound podcast, Jay Williams and Ryan Snelling, who shouted me out on their podcast the other day because I bought one of their shirts.
Yeah.
They went through TeePublic, and I was talking to Ryan, who reviewed Alien Covenant with us, and he said, it's very user-friendly, very artist-friendly. You upload your designs, and you don't pay a thing.
Yeah.
And then you get $5 per shirt that can go toward the podcast. So I'm talking about this specifically right now. I don't know how long this promo code is going to last. It may be expired, but there's 2 TeePublic sales I want to tell you about.
All right.
On July 19th through the 22nd, if you go to teepublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell, REEL Brad Bell, shirts will be 20% off. Before that, if you go to the same thing, teepublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell, and put in The Real Brad Bell as a promo code at checkout, you get 20% off.
And how long does that last, though?
I don't know. It'll probably be expired by the time that this podcast comes out. But I tweeted it out today. And so hopefully people who want a shirt can use that discount code.
I'll go to try and retweet it right now.
Yeah, retweet that at AK Andrew Stokes. I also want to mention that Jerry now has a Twitter account.
Who?
Jerry Barbecue 17.
Never heard of him.
Apparently, Barbecue 17 was taken. Can you believe that shit?
As the person who owns it, yes, I can.
I can't believe you did that.
No, I'm
That's
just kidding.
Dirty play right there.
I also have REEL Jerry Reed and REEL Andrew Stokes. I'm just kidding.
So follow Jerry at Barbecue 17 Lives. Of course, he doesn't go BBQ. He spells out the whole barbecue. So
how do you even spell that word?
Spell out barbecue for us, Andrew. It's BARBECUE, right?
Sure,
Barbecue
right.
17 Lives on Twitter. So enough housekeeping, enough, pushing out our merch. If you buy a shirt, wear a shirt, it not only gets the show's namesake out there, but we get $5 that we're not just pocketing. We're actually going to put toward the production of the show. We're trying to upgrade constantly, and we appreciate everyone who's bought a shirt, whether it's friends, family, or listeners. And we're going to be giving away some more of those. We've given away one. And I'm going to say it now, Timothy Belmont, we love you, but you can't have another prize for like 2 months or something because you've been collecting all of our. He got a shirt and the Transformers signed Blu-ray.
Well, I feel like only one of those was an actual prize.
Yeah, that's true. And it's only going to be 2 shirts that I'm going to give out probably the rest of the year. I'm going to give out a TH Epic Review shirt and a Thanks Bob Reed. And I have big plans for some shirts in the fall that I'm going to run by Andrew Stokes since these are selling fairly well. I don't know if these would do well, but I think they're pretty epic. So Andrew Stokes, let's get into what we've been checking out this week.
Check checklist? Check. Double checking of checklist? Check.
AKA Andrew Stokes, what have you been checking out this week?
Well, this week you and I have both checked out a thing together.
We did.
I mean, not together, but it's something we both watched.
I came over here. We watched it together. We cooked popcorn in Andrew's new house.
We cuddled on the couch.
Had a sleepover. No, we watched it separately, and I was surprised that Andrew had not watched this.
It's one of those things that came out, and I was just busy when it did, and I just never got back around to it. Because especially, it was like, it's 2 episodes of this thing, and they're an hour long each, so it's not something you can just watch real quick. And also, it's not something you want to just put on the background. It's something I wanted to dedicate time to watch. But that was Chappelle's new stand-up on Netflix.
It's 2 specials.
Two hour-long specials on there.
One in Hollywood, one in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And Abby and I have been going through a stand-up kick because she's a big fan of Amy Schumer. I know my wife loves Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer.
Okay.
That's some controversial stuff right there, but
I suppose.
I digress.
Yeah.
Hashtag digress. Now,
that's a thing.
A.K.A. Andrew Stokes.
Yeah.
We watched the Amy Schumer HBO special. That was actually the first stand-up special that my wife and I had watched together, and we're like, this is something we can enjoy together.
Yeah.
Then we found out Amy Schumer was doing the whole Netflix special, which was just so-so.
Okay.
That one was very cleverly titled The Leather Special because she wore an all-leather outfit while she did the stand-up. That one did not get rave reviews. We watched the Sarah Silverman on there. We watched TJ Miller on HBO. That kind of got mixed reviews. We loved it because we love TJ Miller. He has got a unique sensibility when it comes to comedy. But none of that compares to the legendary Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Now, if you're, say, pushing 30, if you're late 20s, early 30s, you grew up probably watching Chappelle's show when you were in high school. It was a great comedy sketch show that came on Comedy Central. Only ran like 2 seasons. And did you
2.5?
2.5 and then there were some lost episodes.
Yeah.
Did you know, Andrew Stokes, that on Amazon you can get the whole complete series of Chappelle's show for $14?
I own the whole complete series.
You do? Okay.
Yeah,
well, you don't need that. I'm gonna buy that, and I want to revisit those because I probably have not seen them.
Yeah.
Since they.
I feel like they're streaming somewhere too. I can't remember where. I feel like some streaming service had them.
So Dave Chappelle kind of dropped off the face of the earth after signing he signed like a $40 million contract with Comedy Central to do I don't know how many seasons of Chappelle's show. And this is the first time that he's really been in the limelight again. Since then.
He's done some talk show appearances and such.
Yeah. And so we watch all these other comedy specials, and we have to watch Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And those pale in comparison. I mean, he is a master of his craft, and we're going to get into that. Andrew Stokes, what did you think about these?
They were really good. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Which was your favorite? Was it the Austin or the Hollywood?
I feel like Austin was. And I don't know if maybe because it had its very chill atmosphere, you know what I mean, to it. But they both had their highs and their lows, you know what I mean? I don't think either one was as good as maybe some of his other stuff. I mean, they were both really good. But like his other stuff to me was almost like non-stop, like hilarity. And this one, it was like there's kind of ups and downs. Some stuff was amusing, and entertaining stories, and some of it was like, oh, just really funny jokes. So
he is the best sit-up and delivery man as far as payoffs, and what I mean by that, long-term payoffs.
Right.
He'll sit up a joke in the first act of his show and pay it off in the third act, and he handles race so well.
Yeah.
I mean, it never comes across to me as a white man as too offensive. He's just a great storyteller when it comes to setting up these jokes.
Yeah, and he pushes it. He pushes the. He talks about Bill Cosby in both of his specials. Talks about OJ.
There are rape jokes in this special. A lot of trans stuff.
Yeah, but about the LGBTQ community and stuff like that.
What was your favorite bit of the two shows? Mine was the diarrhea joke.
That was pretty funny, and it reminds me of another joke that I'll tell you later.
But he gets into this bit in which he's talking about Ebola to set this up.
Yeah,
it's like Ebola. These two guys go to the CDC in Atlanta. They survive. He's like, they survive Ebola today, but back in the 1800s, you got diarrhea. You might as well be getting your affairs in order. I'm not gonna get into it here because I could never do it justice, but. Yeah. The joke that he was telling when he kind of overlapped race relations with the transgender community. Yeah. And he said how the trans people are getting treated so much better than, of course, he was doing these stand-ups when the cop killings it seemed like they were coming nonstop. The cop killings of African Americans and vice versa. So it wasn't the most easiest time for race relations in America when he was telling these jokes. But he was telling a joke, and he said, I know one of the toughest gangsters in New York who puts on high heels just so the cops will leave him alone. They ain't going to mess with no transgender people. and when he did he's a good physical comedian, too. Not as good as somebody like Chris Farley or something. Right. But still pretty good in a subtle way. So I really enjoyed both of these specials.
I like the bit where he's walking to the police station with all these people that witnessed a crime with him in tow or whatever, and just him walking and strutting across stage.
Or when he starts out, I believe the Hollywood special, The Age of Spin, where he's talking about how he was a little tips, a friend drove for him.
That's a good one too. I was thinking about that one. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking in the rearview mirror. It looks like his traffic stop's going well, and he does.
Starts playing, so you know it's going well when you start playing with the radio.
Yeah, it was he did his silent kind of mimicking of what he saw. Yeah, I mean that was just so subtly good and well done. I had to say I was surprised, and I was going to ask you if you were surprised, considering that these were going on at the height of Donald Trump pandemonium. Yeah. That he did not really tell any Trump jokes.
No, especially because you look at the intro to the two specials. It's kind of like the similar graphics and maybe exactly the same. I don't know. And there's things in there that he touches in his jokes. Like there's one of the graphics has like some Care Bear lookalike bears, and he talks about Care Bears, one of his special. And there is like a little Trump segment in there in his intro. Like you see Trump, some cartoon Trump giving a speech. So I'm like waiting for a Trump joke in one of his specials, and it just never came.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I was surprised. I think it was.
When was this recorded? When were these recorded?
They were I believe the Austin one was recorded in like October of 2016. Yeah. I believe the Hollywood one may have been like last summer. David Chen of the Slash Filmcast was at the Hollywood one.
Really? Okay, that's cool.
And he was telling a story, and Dave even mentioned this in his first show. They use a lockbox technology with phones in which everybody turns in their phone at the beginning. They lock it up. And if you have to get the phone for an emergency, you can go to the front desk and get it. Yeah. But otherwise, no phone.
Yeah, I was wondering that watching it, just thinking about, modern technology. And especially you see a lot of these cell phone recordings of comedians in these smaller clubs a lot of times.
And it keeps his jokes from getting stale because you don't want to see all the bits on YouTube before you go and see the new stand-up that he has. But it was worth the wait. Yeah. This Chappelle show, not Chappelle's show, but the stand-up special.
The stand-up specials, right.
So check those out on Netflix. They're not for the faint of heart.
Netflix is doing some of these.
Oh, they have so many.
Jim Gaffigan, I know, has one on there. I think Bill Burr has one.
Kevin Hart's got two on there. Yeah. So, which he mentioned.
Yeah. Kevin Hart bit was funny. Yeah.
Loves Kevin Hart. That was really good. I'm not gonna spoil that, but Andrew Stokes.
Yeah.
I've been checking out something else that is very. I don't want to say let's go ahead and say it's confirmed epic.
Okay, what is this? I'm not sure I've heard you talk about this ad nauseum for the past day. What is this?
It is and I called Andrew last night at like
12:30
a.m. when I finished watching it. It is Arrival, directed by Denis Villeneuve. How would you pronounce it, Andrew?
I say Dennis Villanova. Is that what I say? I don't even know what it looks like. I was just making
Denny V. But Arrival, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Alien Invasion, First Contact film, nominated for Best Picture. I don't know how we missed this film in the theater. My
busy.
guess
That's why.
It was a busy election season.
That's when I was working at this new place and working like 12-hour shifts all the time, and it was crazy. Crazy time to be alive, Brad.
Now, I know this opinion may not seem legitimate considering what I'm going to say about Transformers The Last Night later in this show.
I'm shaking my head.
But
preemptively,
the first thing that I thought when this film faded to black and ended and the credits rolled was, wow. No, I did think that, but no, what I thought.
And then I was like, whoa.
What I thought was, this is the reason that I watch movies. This is the reason that I love cinema.
This is the reason I got 4K TV.
Yeah, this is which it wasn't the best 4K conversion, but it looked good nonetheless. This is the reason that I do a podcast that talks a lot about film. Is this movie is unlike any Alien First Contact film, any Alien Invasion film I've ever seen. And there's been so many of them and so many great ones. Well, whether it's Close Encounters or Independence Day or
Alien.
Yeah, Alien, of course. But this is the best movie that I have seen since Inception in 2010. Now, I said when we reviewed Wonder Woman that gave me a feeling like Inception did. Like I was just
so this trumps Wonder Woman to you.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like this is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Like I want to do a discussion episode when we do our top 25 movies of all time.
Yeah.
And do them like 5 at a time and tell why. Maybe later on when there's like dead season at the movie theater. But I'm telling you, this would make my top 25 of all time. This is like master filmmaking.
Without spoiling anything, just an arbitrary question. Does Jeremy Renner at any point have a sniper rifle or anything like that?
No, he never arms himself with a weapon.
Oh,
in
man.
This movie. And it really is. Jeremy Renner, I know he is second billing here to Amy Adams.
Right.
I mean, she is the lead star in this film. She carries this film.
I'm looking at the front case, looking like almost like Mufasa on here.
Yeah, she's like double the size of Jeremy Renner on the case.
Jeremy Renner, it's like his top portion of his body, and that like just equals like her head to her neck.
And Arrival had the most kick-ass Mondo poster. I forgot who did it. I think it may have been Kevin Tong. I think it was a time release too.
Yeah.
God, I wish I'd have got that shit, Andrew.
Yeah.
This is like maybe making my top. It's knocking something to become one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
I mean, and you go into like these hype movies, like say The Dark Knight Rises or Spider-Man: Homecoming or Avengers or whatever, Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Last night,
Yeah. And you think, okay, I could potentially walk out of this theater and this be one of my top 10, top 25 favorite movies of all time. I expected a great critically acclaimed movie because that's like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
And it's a Best Picture nominee. But I didn't see Moonlight, so I can't speak on that film.
Yeah. Did you see La La Land?
Nor did I see La La Land.
Okay, that was good.
So I really want to watch Moonlight.
Me
but
too.
I'm not a big musical guy, but I'd watch La La Land if Abby wanted to watch it. She's a big musical guy.
You should watch it on your own. I'm not a big musical guy either.
And you watched it, though?
I watched it in theaters, yeah. It didn't.
So how did you see La La Land and miss Arrival in the theater?
Because La La Land I saw in January. And I would basically
this came out in November.
In 2017, I've been trying to see just more movies, go to the theater, see more movies. And so that day I watched La La Land and something else, like back to back. I watched these two movies. And And I don't know. I've been trying to watch a lot of movies. That's why I went and made myself watch Baywatch like 10 o'clock at night, because like I just want to see movies that I was interested in, even if that's supposed to be good. But yeah, I don't know. Arrival was there was a series of movies last like fall and like that area near the end of the year that I didn't get to see.
There's 3 things that make a movie like really special to me. One is we've always talked about the epic scene.
Yeah.
2 is one of 2 things. Does it have like a twist at the end that you never see coming?
Yeah.
Or does it have something left open like Inception? Is it a dream or not? That you can
Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner. Is Descartes a replicant or not? Something that you can debate with your friends and on podcasts and movie sites will debate for years to come. Mm-hmm. The ending of this, like when they make the reveal, I told you it was as good. I'm not going to say what was in the box, but it's as good as when they make the reveal in 7 of what's in the box.
What's in the box?
My jaw, hit the ground. So anyway, check out Arrival, confirmed epic. I want to get Andrew to watch it. Like, this is worthy of a review just for us to gush about.
I hope to watch it this week. Yeah.
I think that Andrew Stokes I've hyped it up so much now. That you'll like it.
I'm hyped for this anyway. Okay. Like I've heard really, really good, solid things about this movie for a while now. And
when you watch a movie at home, though, you're more easily distracted, like you're looking at your phone or something like that.
Sometimes
like this movie had me.
I can't wait to talk about the last night.
This movie had me like enthralled.
Yeah.
From the opening scene to when the credits rolled.
Kind of like Lovely Bones.
No, I didn't. You like that movie.
That had me enthralled from the opening scene to the end.
Did that? I don't know. Was it nominated for Best Picture? I think it may have been.
Maybe. I don't know. It kind of got crapped on, though.
Andrew Stokes, that's all I've got for checking out. You've been checking anything else out?
Yeah, I have been checking out. I haven't watched the last episode of this, but I've been watching the new Netflix series Glow.
Oh, the female wrestling.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's one of those shows where it's not necessarily laugh out loud funny, but it's just entertaining throughout. And Alison Brie, there's some really cool characters, and they kind of take time exploring different characters and stuff going on. Alison Brie she's a very weird character. Like she's not really a good person, but like she's still like kind of the main character. It's kind of plucky, actress just looking for anything.
Alison Brie from Community.
Yeah,
Annie, right?
Yeah. So it's just a good show. I'm watching that, and I've started Orange Is the New Black as well. I'm a couple episodes into that. It's been good so far as well.
The new season or the show?
No, the I've just started Orange Is the New Black. That's one of those things I've been meaning to watch, and I finally was like, okay, I need to start watching this. So
yeah, my mission is to catch up on TV. I finished House of Cards season 5.
Yeah, I'm
finishing Breaking Bad now. I know it's crazy. I've never finished it. And then I'm probably going to move on to Leftovers or Westworld.
Oh, that's 2 I want to get to. Leftovers and Westworld both. I haven't watched season 5 of House of Cards.
Westworld comes back on at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get to
Are you ready for Game of Thrones?
Oh, I can't wait. It comes on the Sunday we get back from the beach.
Really?
The day after. I'm looking forward. I love this beach trip. I'm looking forward just as much to that as I am this beach trip, which is when this podcast will drop. Andrew Stokes, let's go ahead and get into a brief epic news segment.
All right.
Today's epic news segment is headlined by something that you love, a.k.a. Andrew Stokes, the comic book community.
Oh, God, yes. I love when we talk about comic books ad nauseum.
Yeah, so community/industry, basically the community's reaction to...
Tell me what great thing has been going on in comics this week, Brad.
Well, Marvel Legacy has been teased, and now they've given their full reveal of Marvel Legacy.
Now, is this some sort of like large event that Marvel's doing?
It's not an event.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
It's a line-wide relaunch.
Okay, good. I thought it was an event. I'm glad it's just a line-wide relaunch.
So basically, they're trying to do what DC did with Rebirth, which is had them killing incels, get back to the basics. Heroes being heroes, quit fighting each other. No more events for like a year and a half or so, which is crazy. That's like infinite amount of time.
I'll be over here holding my breath.
Yeah, and just get to basics of comic book storytelling. And not only that, they're going to renumber the issues. So you've had these new number and say like Cable is in issue 4.
Okay.
Well, it's really like Cable issue 264.
Okay.
Or something. So you're going to go from issue 4 I'm using this as a hypothetical. This isn't an exact number to issue 264.
They're going back to the original number.
Yeah.
Okay.
But doesn't that sound like confusing as hell?
It sure does. It seems completely pointless and stupid.
So they're getting back to basics. So the big hope for fans and the big rumor was the Fantastic Four is going to come back.
Yeah.
Because Marvel very infamously kind of canned them because they didn't have the film rights. We've talked about that on this podcast before, unfortunately. But Reed and Sue have been pretty much off screen. They put the Thing somewhere, and they put Johnny Storm in the Inhumans. He was sleeping with Medusa. It was really weird. But anyway, so we're going to get the Fantastic 2.
Yeah.
The Human Torch and Johnny Storm kind of team up.
Yeah.
I don't understand Marvel's their logic of thinking here. You want to get more people vested. You want to get back to basic storytelling. Yet you're going back to original number. And here's the motto for this relaunch. It's hashtag Make Mine Marvel, which is what Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby used to put at the end of their books. It was the old Marvel column.
That's what I say when it comes to movies.
But yeah, Andrew Stokes, how can you make mine Marvel without the Marvel First Family? Don't do this unless you're going completely back to your heritage. And I'm not saying get rid of diversity, keep all that. The legacy characters are staying. They're just going to be...
The legacy characters being the older, like the original, like Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Absolutely. Well, they're bringing them back into the forefold. I guess maybe I misused legacy. When I said...
Well, I just want to clarify what the legacy character is.
When I was using legacy character in this context, I meant like female Thor may stay around.
Yeah.
But it'll be in a different book. Odin's son will be Thor now.
Okay.
So they are going to do that kind of stuff. They don't want to get rid of diversity, but in kind of a offhanded way, Marvel has said in statements that diversity is not selling for them.
Yeah.
Which sounds bad, but I mean, the numbers are what they are.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know you don't think too much about this. You've been a critique of the comic book industry. You don't even hardly read comics anymore. As someone myself who drops $100 a month on comics,
oh my God,
I'm interested to see what you think about this.
Well, it's not just affecting the comic book. It's also kind of affecting a thing I am interested in, which is board games. There's a card game, a deck building game called Legendary, and there's their biggest property by far. They do like Alien and Predator and stuff like that, but the biggest thing by far is the Marvel sets. They have a bunch of expansions. They have an X-Men expansion just getting ready to come out, or maybe it just came out. I don't remember. But their very first expansion to this game was the Fantastic Four. You got Mr. Fantastic, just the whole family.
So it would indicate that maybe Marvel's getting ready to push the First Family.
Well, no. This is the first expansion. This came out years ago. And I don't remember how many times it got reprinted, but it stopped being reprinted. And you can get every expansion for this game except for that expansion. And it went online. It was kind of like a joke within board game communities how much this expansion would sell for on Amazon and eBay. I mean, it was an expansion that you could probably back in the day buy it for like $15-$20.
What's it go for now?
Like over $100 easily.
The Fan 4 expansion.
The Fan 4 expansion. Recently, within the past month, they announced that they're bringing the expansion back. They're finally bringing it back. So that was already kind of a sign of like, whoa, Marvel's loosening the grips on this kind of fan.
They did this with X-Men. Like they brought X-Men back into the forefront.
And see, with the X-Men, there's a brand new, the newest expansion is a brand new X-Men only expansion for this game as well. And they brought out an X-Men Marvel. An X-Men Munchkin crossover game. They've been doing the Marvel Munchkin game. If you're familiar with the Munchkin games,
it just sounds like Marvel was starting to get over being butthurt from Fox.
It is what it is.
But I mean, I don't get it. Like it's such mixed messaging. We're getting back to our roots and classic storytelling and legacy and make mine Marvel. But no Sue Storm. Yeah. No Reed Richards. No, the kids.
Maybe eventually. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to... I've pretty much just accepted it. But I accepted it within the old context of Marvel. Now that you're saying you're doing class... I don't know. I'm thinking about dropping all my Marvel books, to be honest with you. Besides X-Men.
Okay.
Which I don't read much. I read Spider-Man and X-Men.
You're going to drop your Spider-Man comics?
Nah, I ain't going to do that.
So you're not going to drop any?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're not dropping any Marvel books. But here's the thing. So we're going to get away from big stories. They've already announced an X-Men crossover event for Marvel Legacy.
With who?
It's called Mojo Worldwide. Mojo's an X-Men villain.
It sounds like the company
Prestige
that
Worldwide,
right, from Step Brothers.
Bolts and holes. But man, talk about mixed messaging.
Yeah.
Talk about speaking out of both sides of your mouth.
Isn't this whole Legacy miniseries thing an event? I mean, is it not? They're bringing all these old heroes.
It's like one issue.
But per team up, right?
Well, they're doing one issue per team up. Yeah, then there's one like issue that's called Marvel Legacy. And that is kind of what DC did. They did a 70-page DC Rebirth $2.99 one-shot, and it reset everything. And it did it in epic fashion.
70-page, huh?
Yeah, for $2.99, you couldn't beat that. And the first printing of that's worth
$1 million.
But Mojo Worldwide is going to be an excuse for the X-Men villain Mojo to bring in a bunch of like classic X-Men villains or versions of the Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse and the Horseman. And it's like, this sounds cool. As an X-Men fan, I actually want to read this.
Yeah.
But don't tell me you're gonna not do something and then do it like right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but okay, let's talk about some positive Marvel news.
Okay.
MCU Marvel movie news. So Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, I should say. Miss Marvel's Kamala Khan. Captain Marvel's Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
Movie comes out March 8th, 2019. Brie Larson's playing Captain Marvel. So the rumor is that Sam Jackson, Nick Fury himself, is going to sign on to be a co-star for Captain Marvel. Good idea.
I mean, I guess we'll see how Homecoming does, but it doesn't sound like a bad idea at all.
It sounds like Marvel's doing this whole team-up philosophy.
Attaching one of their big known stars to one of these properties that people either maybe have lost a little confidence in,
Spider-Man,
or don't know as well, Captain Marvel. So
exactly right. I think it's a good idea. I mean, Sam Jackson doesn't make anything worse, I would say. I think he makes about everything he's in at least semi-entertaining.
Sure.
So I'm all for it, and it makes sense that Nick Fury would work maybe as a liaison for S.H.I.E.L.D. To reach out to I forgot what it's called, the space keeping
Sword?
Yeah, Sword. Yeah, thank you
Sword
so much.
Shield.
See, I quit reading. You quit reading comic books, and you're giving me the throwouts right here. Sword.
Carol Danvers also is a former S.H.I.E.L.D. person, right?
I don't know. About Captain Marvel.
In Ultimate, she definitely is. I don't know, maybe 616, whether she was or not.
Yeah.
But she was in the Ultimate universe. She was actually like the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. for quite a while.
So this makes sense for Nick Fury to come in and kind of connect the dots between S.H.I.E.L.D. and Sword, or maybe sit up Sword or something like that. Yeah. So I think this will work well. I don't expect him to be in every other scene. I think it'll be more in he'll appear in each of the acts and just kind of, like you said, shepherd in another new Marvel character. As long as it's not like films.
As long as it's not like him in Iron Man 2. Where it's like, he's just there to tie into Infinity War. Hey, you want to join our group?
Well, this will be after Infinity War, because this is March 2019.
After the first part, right?
Yeah, but
I know it's whatever, but the next one's part 2. I don't care what they say.
Speaking of whatever, let's go ahead and get into our featured review of Michael Bay's Transformers 5, The Last Night.
I want to stay, and I want to fight them.
And now, two worlds colliding.
The operation is over.
We're not giving up, okay? Only one survives.
Oh my God. Forgive me.
before we get into our featured review, let's run down the stats of Transformers 5 The Last Night, which isn't called Transformers 5, it's Transformers The Last Night.
Yep.
Directed by Michael Bay.
They're teasing us. The Last Night. Oh, let's hope so.
This was released on Wednesday, June 21st, 2017. Again, we're reviewing this late thanks to the donation of Timothy Belmont. Thank you so much for listening and donating.
Appreciate it.
15% on RT, on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Is that currently where it's at? I feel like it dropped lower.
Well, you can check real quick.
I'll check.
But at last check, it was 15%.
Okay.
We know that this was down in the U.S. as far as the box office, but worldwide, it's on track where most Transformers are. So to make a crap ton of money.
I think I read that it had, like, from week 1 to week 2 had like a 75% drop off or something worldwide.
It was steep.
That's crazy.
So before we get into the review, Andrew, just a couple opening questions.
Yeah.
What is your fandom for the Transformers property overall?
It is 15%, just to let you know.
You like this 15%?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's the RT.
That's the RT. I like the Transformers property overall. I grew up on Beast Wars. You know, I like the old movie, the 86 movie, I think it was. The animated movie, it's so good. I've watched like all of Transformers Prime and the following like
Is that still on Netflix?
As far as I don't know. You should check it out. It's really good. And there was like a TV movie afterwards. Maybe there's 2 of them. I forget. And I watched those. You know, I've just watched bits and pieces of Transformers throughout the years. I don't know. I like the franchise. It's such a goofy franchise. It's like one of those things that's like, if you spend even like a second thinking about it too much, like nothing makes sense about these robots that turn into like vehicles or whatever that come from a planet of robots that are like, they're like however many thousands, millions of years older than...
according to Michael Bay, they've been in place
forever.
During every significant historical event in the history of the world. I'm waiting for the
They
next
are the
one
world,
to take
according to
them
Michael
back
Bay.
to biblical times.
According to Michael Bay, they are the world.
I'm waiting for the Dinobots to part the Red Sea so
Yeah.
Moses can walk across in the next one.
We have to find Moses' staff.
See, you're a big fan of the property.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the movies, in particular the first movie. I like the movies a lot better than you. I think that's fair to say. But we both loved the first film.
Yep.
We had a great time. I'll say it again. I've said it before.
Love the first one.
You know, went on a 4th of July fireworks, and we hadn't seen it. I don't know if I'd seen CG that well done up until that point.
Okay.
Especially in motion with the classic Michael Bay knack for action. We both loved the first film.
Yeah.
You hated the second one.
Yeah.
So much so that you gave away a signed copy of the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I liked the second one at first.
Okay, yeah.
And I still love that opening scene where they drop Optimus
That's
out.
the thing. Oh, man, I remember when that opened. That opening, I'm in the theater clapping along with the audience. Yes, Optimus is here. Yes. Like, it was so cool. Like, it started out so awesome. And at the end, I was really like, it was almost like shell-shocked. I'm like, what's this feeling I have? Like, I think I did not enjoy this movie.
Then you get a phone call from the real Brad
I remember I was still in the theater.
Me.
You called me or I called you. I was still in the theater walking out of the seats, out between the rows. Yeah.
And I was like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Up on repeated viewings, I don't love the movie so much. I like Dark of the Moon. I think it's a good movie. Not a great movie.
I barely remember it.
I will tell you that Age of Extinction was one of the most fun experiences I ever had in the theater, while being simultaneously one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the theater. Which I did own the collector's set now with the Optimus riding.
You want to talk about your wife canceling orders? I'm sure if she had the opportunity, she would have canceled that.
That was on eBay.
I know. She couldn't get into it.
Access to that. So maybe I need to start ordering my Transformers stuff exclusively on eBay. I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast. So we both love the first film. I enjoy the franchise a little bit more than you do the film franchise. You enjoy the property overall.
Yep.
So in order to, put on the brass knuckles and really get in to this review, let's go ahead and say we're going to roll the reel forward for spoilers. Transformers The Last Night, starting now. a.k.a. Andrew Stokes, since I reviewed this with Amos already.
I was going to say, so, you've done the Confirmed Amos podcast where you got to review it there. You've written a review on thepicreview.com where you talked about the podcast. I believe you did a Rapid Reflections.
Yeah,
so
I've reviewed this film 3 times. This
so
is my 4th time.
people, I think, know your opinions, or they should know your opinions pretty well at this point. So I just want to give a brief kind of quick overall thought about this movie, if you will. If you just hold on one second, I got to get the microphone ready for my opinion on the movie. For those of you who can't see, that was me banging my head against the table. Literally banging my head against the table, which I think accurately reflects how I felt about this film overall throughout the entire experience.
No enjoyment out of this whatsoever.
There were a few parts that I laughed at, and that was basically it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I looked over at one point, and my friend who was with me was Googling ways to kill himself. So that's not true. No, but in all seriousness, there was one part in this film where I looked over. All right, we're in a dark theater watching this movie. My friend's literally staring at the wall to our left. He's like looking up and down the wall, like just checking
and
it
Adam
out.
walks in, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways.
It's like, so this is the kind of film that we had. Yeah, I mean, there were some funny parts. So here's the thing. I want to talk about this off the bat, because this to me is the most baffling thing, not just about the film, but about people's review of the film, I guess.
By people, do you mean me?
No, I mean everybody.
Okay.
So I've seeked out. I don't really get into like reading film reviews or whatever. I may listen if a podcast I'm listening to just happens to see a film and they review it or something. I'm not big into like going and reading, but I've been tracking down film reviews for this movie because there was something I watched in this. Like I was watching this movie and there was something going on, and I was just kind of baffled by it. And I said, "This is awful." And
what was it?
I'll get to it. But I listened and read your review. You didn't mention it. I read a bunch of reviews from a bunch of different websites. Nobody mentions this. I've listened to reviews. The only time this has ever been mentioned was on the Slash Filmcast. They have Paul Scheer on there reviewing the film with them.
Oh, you listened to it?
Yes, because I told you I was looking out reviews. I'm like, surely I'm not the only person that had this issue.
I listened to that too.
And he mentions it for a second. And they're all like, oh, yeah. And like, that's it. And it just baffles me because to me, this is absolutely the thing that this movie, I might have even enjoyed this movie more if it wasn't for this. Like, this could have been a good movie for all I know. But it was the changing aspect ratios in this movie. Now, I'm starting to wonder.
You know why, don't you?
I can't imagine any good reason.
Okay, here's why. Let me say this. So Christopher Nolan shot The Dark Knight in IMAX.
Yeah.
Master of his craft, so well done. And then Michael Bay is like, I want to do that.
Sure.
I'll do it IMAX.
From the Revenge of the Fallen.
So he shot Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
So we went and saw that at the Discovery Place.
In
Abby
IMAX.
says to this, did you go with us to that?
I was not. Remember, I was at the
Okay.
other theater. We
That's
called
right.
each other afterwards.
No, I saw it a second time.
Oh.
The first time I saw it with Josiah on Limax at Concord Mills and Evan Truelove.
Was there, yeah.
Yeah, the second time.
So that wasn't even true IMAX.
No, the second time, though, I went to True IMAX
Yeah.
to see Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
I made Abby sit through this. It's no wonder we're married after making her sit through Revenge of the Fallen. And instead of being like whole scenes, like the bank robbery scene or whatever in The Dark Knight in IMAX, it would literally shot for shot for shot for shot change.
Yeah. It shoots to Devastator. He's taking up the whole screen, and then it shoots to Shia like running through the desert. And it's like widescreen
so
or
that's
something.
what it is here.
Yeah, but to me, this is like the entire movie. It's not like certain action scenes have been shot in this whole thing, and it's not even 2 aspect ratios. It's like there's at least 3 different ones. I thought I was going crazy because, like I said, nobody's mentioned this. I've gone back and watched some trailers, and they're in the trailers, and it's like it's like constant. There's a scene where the scene
That's Michael Bay.
the scene where Anthony Hopkins has gotten Mark Wahlberg and who I call British Megan Fox together, and they're all together, and it's like the first time they're meeting. When Mark Wahlberg is talking, it's in widescreen. It'll cut to British Megan Fox talking, full screen, widescreen, full screen.
She needs to be
and
in full screen.
I don't care. I don't care. It's like the whole thing.
It's like beauty.
It's like 2.5 for like. I was 15 minutes into this film, and I was thinking about going and getting the manager because I was like, well, surely this is broken. Like, surely this isn't how this film was supposed to be. And it's like for 2.5 hours, it's this constantly, like, I'm not one of these people that gets distracted by black bars. You know what I mean? You put a movie in widescreen, I can tune them out. I'm watching the movie. But when it's constantly changing like that, it's essentially like for like 2.5 hours, this movie was constantly saying, I'm a movie. Never forget, this is a movie you're watching. In case you were getting invested, you're watching a movie. And it was like, I'm like literally having a hard time. These action scenes.
Did anybody you were with say anything about it?
I know I had to bring it up afterwards, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that was kind of weird. I guess I kind of noticed that." And I'm like, "How did you kind of notice that?" It was like constant. It was distracting.
It, but I knew what it was, and I just like this.
No, I knew exactly what it was. Well, I mean, at first I was like, "Well, what's going on? Like this seems messed up for it to be changing this rapidly."
Aspect ratio.
For it to be changing this rapidly. Like I said, it was multiple aspect ratios.
You know what I think he did? I literally think that he filmed some in 35 millimeter film, some in 70 millimeter film. And like true IMAX, some in digital.
Yeah,
some.
That's what it feels like. It feels like they were like they had all these different cameras. They had one of each type of camera filming the exact same scene from like different angles. Like it felt like I mean, to me, it felt like a quality control issue. Like how does somebody let this movie out?
You know why?
Like, it's
because
awful.
These movies have made a shit ton, and Michael Bay gets final cut. He has to.
Yeah, but like. It's awful.
There's a lot of, speaking of cuts, there's a lot of quick cuts. So this is separate from the aspect ratio.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we'll see the characters like walking to a car, then cut, they're in a car.
Yeah.
Like it was not edited well at all. They do not need to give him final cut.
There are parts and storylines in this movie that feels like maybe 5 different people shot a movie and they put it all together. Like there's the whole scene with like the Sector 7 guy.
Who just shows up.
The whole point of him is they make a phone call to him, and we see him like 4 or 5 times with the Cuban Transformers before then. Hey, SA, you want to go to the beach? It's like, hold on. Got to stand by this phone booth for like an hour.
Why is he at the phone booth? He doesn't want them to track his cell phone, I guess.
I don't know, who cares? I mean, but it's like he's there the entire time. Like, why do we ever see him other than that phone call? And he's always there. It's literally like...
Wasn't one time he was in his apartment because he has that whole conspiracy...
Was he? I don't remember that. I feel like they had him for like a day. They're like, okay, we're going to shoot all of your scenes in like one day.
I mean, one time the Cuban Transformers sitting on a building smoking a cigar. Which I'm assuming was a Cuban cigar.
I guess. I didn't even notice that one. The John Goodman one I noticed. The John Goodman smoking a cigar.
Oh, man. How'd they get John Goodman to do this?
And Steve Buscemi. He was in the other one, too, John Goodman.
Oh, yeah. He was in the fourth one.
So he's one, too. It's like John Goodman, if you listen to John Goodman's character, to me, he sounds like a soundboard. And he does. And like some of these Transformers do. And he's one of them. And it's something that they've kind of done throughout of like all of them, but it's really just starting to grate on me. It really sounds like... They had John Goodman in for a day. They just wrote lines for him. Didn't give him the script. Just gave him the lines to say. He recorded these lines and they just plugged them in whenever they wanted.
That's probably how it was done.
It probably is how it was done. But it was like it's so awful sounding. Like some of these Transformers, like the humans are talking and then the background just making random noise. Oh, sorry. Blah blah blah. It's just, oh my goodness.
What'd you think when the film started?
Yeah, okay.
Besides thoughts of suicide, what did you think before the Paramount logo could even come off the screen?
Yeah.
Explosions.
I
was like, oh, here we go.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine. I like when movies kind of like bleed into like the opening logo and stuff. I always kind of like those when they're done.
Okay.
And this was, it's like, okay, cool.
Let's clarify something about these Knights. They're called the Knights of Icon. So the films, that's the name of the Knights. They're like 7 or 9 Transformers Knights, which they never call them the Knights of Icon in the film. I looked that up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The Wikipedia entry is very clarifying for this movie.
Clear.
Oh, that's what's going on.
And they brought this up on the Slash Filmcast.
Right.
It's like Akiva Goldsman, who's the main writer of this film, went into Wikipedia and was like, I'm going to clear this up and make sure they understand what's going on.
The Wikipedia entry is a lot clearer than this movie was.
Okay, so...
Not that the movie was...
The
plot was pretty simple in this movie, I guess, for a Transformers plot.
2 warring factions.
Yeah.
We're in, mythical time. What would we call this? King Arthur, Legend
medieval
of the
times.
Sword, medieval times, whatever you want, fantasy times, whatever you want to call it. And Stanley Tucci,
Yeah.
who reappears as Merlin.
Yeah.
He died in the first one. I mean, in the fourth one, excuse me. As a
Right.
different character.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give him a pass on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got something so good to tell you. Hold on.
right.
Whoa!
Whoa, that's what it was.
Tucci said
Yeah.
whenever he stuck his head out the window. So, he goes to the Knights of Icon,
Yeah.
who, when they morph together, kind of like a Megazord,
Yeah.
create a dragon,
Which is not explained in the movie.
which is not explained at all. So I'm thinking the dragon and the Knights of Icon are two separate entities.
Yeah.
Because it's not clarified.
Yeah.
And then Dragon comes in.
You don't even see the Knights, really.
Yeah, there's one that dies in that opening scene in Chicago. He's wearing that gas mask.
Yeah. I think some people say that. I felt like it was a face shield because he's not the only. There were Transformers like Optimus that you see his mouth, and then when he gets into battle, he puts this shield over his mouth. I just kind of took it as armor, but some people see it as like a breathing apparatus or something.
Okay, but at the end of the movie, just to jump ahead at 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I brought this up in my review, so you got to give me credit for that. So the staff of Merlin controls the Knights of Icon.
Yeah.
So thus controls the dragon.
Yeah.
So Quintessa, who is, if you haven't seen Transformers, you're going to be freaking lost in this review because we're not seeing.
And if you have seen Transformers, you may still be lost.
If you want to see something set up more, listen to the Confirmed Amos plot. We go through it more plot. We're going to jump off. This was originally going to be a Confirmed Crap podcast.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that since I was going to be out of town anyway.
All right.
So they're going to get Merlin's staff from Megatron and Quintessa, who control it now.
Yeah.
Yet the Knights of Icon, who have now morphed into the dragon, are helping Optimus. But that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to have the staff of Merlin, which is what the final battle's about.
Yeah.
In order to control the dragon, which was used a lot in promotional material.
That dragon?
It's in one of the posters. It's in a lot of the TV spots.
Just
He's hardly in the freaking movie.
Just like the Dinobots in Age of Extinction.
He flies by in one scene.
Yeah.
He does kind of whoop ass in that opening scene.
He shoots some fire and stuff.
But at the end, he flies by with Optimus.
Yeah.
I'm like, is Optimus going to ride this thing?
Hi-ho, Silver!
Okay, like that's one thing that really bothered me about the movie. Now, I want to say
wait, why did the dragon bother you? Oh, because they were controlling it at the end without the staff?
Yeah.
But they were
it had been clearly established that you needed this staff to control the dragon in the opening act.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's another one that got me.
Well, one thing, though, too, and again, I didn't think about this in the movie because I didn't know the knights turned into the dragon. But if the knights turn into the dragon and one of those knights is dead because he died earlier in the film.
Maybe it was a four-headed dragon and now it's a three-headed dragon.
I guess.
Who knows?
Okay.
Okay, so here's another one that I didn't realize till I listened to that Slash Filmcast, which they did for a good cause. They raised a lot of money for a hospital because they didn't want to do this review.
We raised $10 for me to see this movie.
But we're not the Slash Filmcast. We don't have Peter Sciarretto, footing the bill here. Now, I want to say the character who's the guy from 24, he's Aaron Pierce. He's a Secret Service agent on 24. He is the military guy who's in charge of Josh Duhamel. Okay?
Oh, the bald guy.
With
the orange hair or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he dies in the first one.
Yeah.
But he's back in this film.
How did he die in the first one? Did we see him die or was he caught in an explosion?
Remember when in the opening act when the helicopter shows up?
And they said no survivors.
And he just blows the crap out of the military.
Maybe he did survive.
I've seen that first movie like a bazillion times.
Maybe he did survive after all.
I don't know.
It's kind of like what's his face from Independence Day being in the sequel. What's his name? Data.
But
yeah.
What about Cogsman? What'd you think about him?
Well, much to your chagrin, he and Anthony Hopkins were probably the only enjoyable part of this film, I thought.
Well, Anthony Hopkins was a lot of fun. He looked like he was having fun.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins was great. And
Cogsman literally said, "Bitch, please," and slapped somebody.
It's Codsman, C-O-D-S, man.
I thought it was Cog, like
Cogs?
C-O-G-S.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't know.
Man, Cogs, man.
C-3PO, but whatever.
Which they call out in the movie.
I know. It's so stupid.
Well, is that stupid because if they didn't say it, would you not have been thinking it? So they just went ahead and said it. It doesn't make it any more excusable.
I'm not honestly sure. People refer to him as C-3PO. He's a robot around the same size, but like I was thinking more like the iRobot robots when I saw him.
He's voiced by Jim Carter, who's from Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
He's a famous British actor.
Like this Downton Abbey show. Let's get that guy in here.
One of my favorite parts of this movie is when Anthony Hopkins and Cogsman go into 45 minutes of dialogue and exposition in the middle of the film, in which they go to his complex, right? They take
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, they take
castle
his castle
where the dementia robot lives, and we get French Hot Rod.
Oh, God. They show up and the dementia robot morphs, and he's like, oh. He just falls to the ground. It's like...
Transforms back.
Why'd you do this?
Yeah.
Now, some people have said to save money, it's like, nobody gives a shit about saving money with this movie. But they get in there, and I mean, it felt like 20 minutes of exposition in which he's telling, it was a cool bit when Cogsman was playing the dramatic organ.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was
cool.
Good. That was well done.
Yeah.
So he literally has the round table.
Yeah.
In this castle.
Oh man, we got
so
go.
he goes into the Witwicky Order. Yeah. He's the keeper of the Witwicky Order.
Yeah.
And apparently female Megan Fox.
Yeah. British Megan Fox.
Yeah, female.
Megan Fox is sorry, a female.
All right. British Megan Fox. Is the last surviving living Witwicky.
Yeah.
Which implies that Shia LaBeouf was killed off screen.
And his parents must have been killed as well.
Michael Bay.
Yeah.
This is the one part of the movie that pissed me off.
Why?
Well, here's was my first thought, okay?
Okay.
I don't know. And I know you never want to see this.
Yeah.
But I have in my head this grand Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Where they end it, and it's Cade Yeager, which is the most badass name in cinema.
I'm still not sure if Cade Yeager is awesome or awful. Like I still go back and forth. Okay. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, Cade Yeager. And sometimes I'm like, Cade Yeager. Like, can you imagine going to school? Is there a Cade Yeager here? That's me, ma'am.
The only Cade I knew was Cade McNown, one of the 3 McCown brothers.
Okay.
Who are all backup quarterbacks. Not one
Cade Yeager. He sounds like an 80s action hero.
Josh McCown, Luke McCown, and Cade McNown. All right, now. So I had this grand epic movie in my head in which Cade Yeager shows up and teams up with Sam Witwicky, Shia LaBeouf. And they end this thing. Okay, like they're not going to because they got 15 movies planned. We'll see what happens. They literally have 15 movies planned.
That's what I've heard,
spanning the beginning of time to so far in the future that
we could see the Allsparks origin story.
I hope so. The Matrix of Leadership's origin story. Anyway, so that's been taken off the table, so that pissed me off. This guy,
But is it really?
That's what I was going to say.
Is it really?
But then I think back to 24 guy. He's just there.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, so, I mean, they can completely bring Shia LaBeouf back.
Megatron's in this movie, which is weird because he didn't exist anymore in Age of Extinction. He was Galvatron.
Well, he was on ice, right? And then they resurrected him.
The humans recreated him with new parts or something.
They
used Transformium.
Transformium, which is the best name for an element.
Yeah, ever. Unless Galvatron was supposed to be like a clone or something. I don't know. But see, here's the thing, and they never mention this. Is we can go back to the earlier part of this film, and Optimus meets what's her face for the first time.
Female Megan Fox?
No. The creator. Optimus Prime meets the creator back on Cybertron. Yeah, just shows up to Cybertron. Boom, there she is, just waiting on him. And she turns him into Nemesis Prime. And
who is a character from G1.
Sure, that's fine. Touches his face, gives him this red streak, so we know, and turns his eyes purple, so we know.
It's like Green Ranger having the Sword of Darkness.
Sure, it's all fine. No problem there. And I don't have a problem with this next part either, but we see Megatron later, and he has that same red streak on him.
Well,
but we never see him. We know he's working with her. We find that out. Surprise, surprise. Megatron was bad. Who saw that coming? But he has this red streak, so I guess he was like, has he been touched and recreated by her or something? Like, is there a whole scene?
That happened off screen, probably.
They were trying to cut this. They were trying to cut the runtime down from 3 hours and 15 minutes.
We got to talk about the scene in which Megatron negotiates the release of 5 Decepticons who I've never heard of in my life.
You don't remember Mohawk?
Was that really
favorite Mohawk?
All right, you're bullshit, man.
Yeah, I've never heard of Mohawk before. Although I'm sure there's some. I'm pretty sure it's a G.I. Joe. I'm pretty sure it's a G.I. Joe named Mohawk.
Bro. Who cares?
Yeah.
All right, so what did you think about this scene in which the government, which for some reason they knew where Cade Yeager was. All right, so they knew where he was, but
because they were tracking Bumblebee, right?
Yeah. So, because Josh Duhamel put a tracker on him in the opening scene.
And it's a classic. This is the thing they do in all movies, but it's just one of the stupid things, is a classic tracking device. Because tracking devices are supposed to be something that you secretly put on somebody so you can secretly track them. The tracking device in this, and this is in most movies, but it's blinking and it's beeping. Beep, beep, and it's like, but again, this is all movies. Like, whenever somebody puts a tracking device,
Spider-Man does that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, it's like blinking and possibly beeping and stuff. It's like, isn't this supposed to be something that people aren't detecting? Like, why the hell would you put a blinking light on something you don't want people to notice? But whatever. Okay, I digress.
So they're following, so they know where Cade Yeager is because they're tracking Bumblebee.
Because they're at the junkyard.
But they want to team up with Megatron.
We should
so
go
that they can follow Megatron to the junkyard to find Cade Yeager, who they already know is in the junkyard.
How does Megatron know where he is?
I don't know. But the government does, but they're working with Megatron to find Cade Yeager. But this desert scene is
crazy.
It's borderline racist.
Crazy. It's insane.
I don't think it's as bad as the two racist robots from the second one.
No.
But at the same time,
Mohawk.
Oh, all right. So
there's Mohawk. There's the bank robbing transformer with the chain.
Who doesn't take money, just robs banks.
Yeah, which I'm totally fine with. Like, that's so goofy that I'm like, okay, because what would a transformer need money for?
Were you ever thinking in this point, like when they set this up, like, oh shit, he's gonna negotiate the release of Soundwave?
Oh yeah.
Like, we're gonna see some of the classic Decepticons.
Yeah, I think they already showed Starscream was still dead earlier at this point, so it's like you're not expecting that, but.
Which I do want to respond to something that they said on the Slash Filmcast, which I thought was a bullshit criticism.
All right.
So they had a big problem with that scene in which Megatron picks up Starscream's head, and he's like, my treacherous old friend.
Yeah.
It's like he's just degrading him. It's like, no, he kind of he has a love-hate relationship with Starscream because Starscream's always trying to supplant him, right?
Yeah. I guess.
That's a Transformers trope.
But did he do it in the movies?
They kind of hinted at it in the first
I'm not sure
two,
I remember him ever, like, actually doing it.
More in the second one, I think.
Maybe the second one? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't specifically remember.
Anyway.
But, yeah.
Okay, so what were we talking about here?
I want to talk about that junkyard scene in general. Like, this is where, like everything.
The junkyard scene or the negotiation of the prisoners?
We could do that too, but the junkyard scene is just like
they
awful
bring
as
lawyers and tables.
Yeah,
and
it's a negotiation in the middle of the desert. Let's meet Megatron in the middle of the desert, and they
That's
set
a
up,
good idea.
and they bring all these tables out with like. It's like, man, you got a tablet or something? Like,
it was like they were negotiating this in 1986 under the Reagan administration.
And it's just Josh Duhamel there in the middle of this desert talking to Megatron, where Megatron's like, I want this guy. And they're like, okay. And I want this guy. No, not that guy, but I want him. Oh, okay, that guy. And it's like, there's only like one Transformer that they're like, absolutely 100% not.
What the hell did that guy do?
And you expect him to show up later in the movie, and for all I know, maybe he does. I don't know. I stopped paying attention like halfway through. But it's like...
Maybe he's one of the Knights of Icon.
Maybe he'll show up in the next one. He's like Unicron's little crony. But...
Maybe that's why Cade Yeager and Shia LaBeouf have to team up.
Unicron. My God.
Which is Planet Earth.
Planet Earth.
Is Unicron, which we can talk about. All right, the junkyard.
The junkyard. It's just awful. It's just nonstop awful.
Did you like Grimlock being basically played as a dog now?
Did he give birth to Dinobots?
Okay, this is what I don't understand.
Where are these baby Dinobots coming from?
You're a Dinobots fan. So
sure.
There's Grimlock, there's Spike. What's the other one?
I don't know. And others.
Okay, so Grimlock's the T-Rex. Yeah. Spike is the Triceratops.
Right. And then there's like a Stegosaurus or something.
There's 3 of them, right?
No, I think there's like 4 or 5.
Okay. I remember Spike and Grimlock.
I think there's a pterodactyl one, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so I was like, why is Spike a baby now?
No, who cares?
Like, what? But if you remember in the 4th one, when he enslaves Grimlock,
yeah,
he says, Spike, and then just gets on Grimlock and
yeah, like
rides.
they never. I don't think they once used Grimlock's name in Age of Extinction. He's like the leader of the Dinobots.
Now he's a giant dog.
Yeah.
And there's 2 babies.
No, put the car down. Put the Chief's car down.
See, I thought that was entertaining. I thought that was kind of funny.
No.
With Grimlock being a giant dog. But I don't have that emotional attachment to Grimlock like you do.
I mean, I didn't. That's the thing about this movie is most of this movie did nothing for me. It wasn't so bad. It was funny. It wasn't
Which
like
we were hoping.
It wasn't even like entertaining. Like most of this movie did nothing for me. Like there are a few funny scenes. There are a few parts that were funny because they were trying to be funny. There are a few parts that are funny because it's just ridiculous, and that's basically it. There is a scene earlier, even earlier than this, where this young girl who is super important according to the trailer.
Isabella.
Yeah, Isabella.
Who's in the first act and the fourth act.
Isabella, who 30 minutes in, they realize is a 14-year-old girl and they can't sexualize her, so they have to bring in British Megan Fox, I assume. And
that dress.
oh yeah, a stripper dress. Anyway, Isabella, was it Canopy? Was that his name?
Yeah.
There's this Transformer who like is her protector, and she kind of protects him.
She has the little friend one too.
She has a friend, Squeak. Screw him. He was cool. I thought. Like when they show up, I'm like, oh, I like Isabella.
When
I like Squeak.
Dies, she's like, my only friend's dead.
And Squeak is just there. Week, week, week.
She demeans Squeak. She's like, you're ugly. Nobody will see you. Go ahead in the battle.
It's weird. But anyway, when Canopy dies, it actually kind of I was like, I'm sad that this Transformer like they quickly established this bond and it wasn't just that this Canopy took care of her, she also took care of him in some ways, you could tell. And it was like, that
really drew me in. That actually drew me into the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, and then the next scene it changes aspect ratios ad nauseum. It blows my mind how much it changes. It had to have been I don't even know. I mean, it was like, I don't even think there was a full 30 seconds where it didn't change aspect ratios.
What'd you think about Bumblebee killing Hitler? Or it was implied that he did.
No, the stopwatch. That stopwatch killed Hitler. Bumblebee just fought Nazis.
So the stopwatch, does that freeze time?
I don't think so. I think it just...
Oh, no, it's okay, but Hot Rod can freeze time.
He creates this bubble where, anti-gravity or something.
French Hot Rod. Which that kind of made me mad, because I actually liked Hot Rod in that 80s.
I just kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, this is Hot, my name's Hot Rod, wee, or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, this is Hot Rod, whatever. I don't care.
Sounds like a new sitcom on NBC. This is Hot Rod.
They could have called him Rodimus Prime. And I'm like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. Who cares?
I am Rodimus Prime.
Yeah. Who was the other guy? Magnum or something? Magnus?
I think that's the name of a condom bag.
Yeah. Who is it in the 86 Transformers who you assume through most of the movie is going to get the Matrix of leadership, and then it goes to Hot Rod? What's his name? It was Robert Stack did his voice or something like that.
I don't know.
And but I don't think he's ever been in these movies, so let's make him a bicycle or something.
It's just going back to that Nazi scene. It's this elaborate set piece they used for all of 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was
this cost a
filming these movies has got to be fun.
Michael Bay just lights money on fire.
As much as I hate these movies, if Michael Bay said, "Hey, I want to put you in this movie," I'm like, "Okay, yeah, absolutely." Let me know where to go and when.
You know who was the luckiest one out of this movie? It was Tyrese Gibson.
Okay.
He wanted to be in this movie, but he couldn't because of the Fast 8.
Is he lucky, though? Because, again, it seems fun to make, and they're making money. Who cares? Like you said, Anthony Hopkins looks like he's having a blast. Josh Duhamel, God bless him, he's getting another paycheck.
Okay, so I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
If you see an actor, and I was listening to the Empire Film Podcast, and they were talking about they were saying... is Robert De Niro's legacy tarnished because he's done these Bad Grandpa movies? And the last
Have you seen Bad Grandpa? It was funny.
No, I hadn't. I'm just saying I'm repeating what they said. Or the last Meet the Parents is great, but the last 2 Meet the Focker sequels.
Yeah.
And Daniel Day-Lewis, who had just retired, has not made a bad decision like that. So he's going out on top.
Yeah.
He's I think he's the only. Him and Meryl Streep may be the only 2 to have won 3 Oscars. Okay. I believe. Maybe Marlon Brando. I'm not sure. But does this tarnished like Anthony Hopkins' legacy to see him do stupid shit like
No,
this?
like I said, he was one of the best parts of the movie. Like, I want a movie with him and Cogsman. Like, if they
may get it.
If they tell me there's a spin-off, I'm like, okay, I gotta check this one out. Because Cogsman, sometimes he's unintentionally funny. Sometimes he's funny on purpose. And sometimes he definitely rides that line where it's like, okay, this is kind of annoying. When he attacks Mark Wahlberg, and it's like,
this is just
he
bullshit.
tries to kill Mark Wahlberg.
No, you weren't going to like this movie no matter what. You went in, you had a predetermined... I'm just kidding.
I'm complimenting the movie. But Cogsman, like, almost kills Mark Wahlberg because he, like, says something rude to British Megan Fox.
Cogsman goes, wee. And it's like, whoops, boy snafu. We're not going to edit that out. No, that
He
didn't
made them
happen.
sushi or something on the
I
submarine.
missed that part because I went to the bathroom during that. I
Oh,
had
it's
to
one of
wee-wee.
the best parts.
I heard.
It's just like they have a romantic dinner and stuffed in between two action
Doesn't
scenes.
he catch fish?
I think he catches fish and like beats him to death or something. I don't specifically remember this because this is the submarine part.
Beats fish to death.
The submarine part is definitely where I started like tuning out.
The World War II sub, which was the most convenient way to get to wherever they were going.
And they crashed into another sub or something at some point. They were like
they crashed into that core of Unicron, didn't they?
Is that what it was? Again, literally, I started.
That was Unicron.
This is one of those things that people have told me throughout the years when I talk about movies or nitpick them, and especially the Transformers movies. They tell me to turn off my brain. You need to turn off your brain and just enjoy this movie.
Usually I don't like that argument.
I don't like that argument, and I quite honestly don't understand the argument. Because I've seen action movies where I'm not really overly concerned with the plot. What I like to use is the newest Rambo film, where it early on establishes these are the bad guys, these are the good guys, the bad guys have captured the good guys, and Rambo's going in to save them. Like, there's no thinking required because the movie hasn't asked you to think about anything. It's told you everything you need to know. It showed you everything you need to know, and you're good to go. Whereas these Transformer movies, they're jib-jiving to Egypt, to, like, National Aviation Museum, to here, to there, and it's asking you to follow along as if this is some sort of national treasure-type mystery we're on. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is the movie's fault because the movie's telling me and showing me things, and it wants me to pay attention. And anyway, I never really understood just turn your brain off, right? I got it in this movie. Like, it was about the submarine scene, and I think, again, it was because of the stupid aspect ratio. I'm, like, not even paying attention to the plot, because I'm sitting here watching the screen, like, pulsate at me, and it's like, we're, like, watching this movie, I'm like, I'm not even sure what's going on anymore. Like, I've heard people talk about this, like, you talked about the Optimus is controlling the dragon, even though Megatron and Contessa or whatever have the staff. Genuinely had no idea that was even a problem. I totally forgot the staff even existed. Like, I didn't realize that was a plot hole because I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, Optimus is riding a dragon now. Okay. Like, this is fine. I think I finally understand it, and it did not help the movie at all. Me quote-unquote, turning my brain off during this film made it absolutely worse because it's literally just noise and flashing CGI, and it's awful.
All right.
It's awful. So what was Stonehenge? Stonehenge is like...
It was the center of Unicron.
It was like Unicron's butthole or something. They got sucked the energy out of it.
It was like the core of Unicron. All right, so Earth is Unicron. So
which is fine. I'm fine with this.
Okay, so
a lot of people hate this. I'm fine with it. Maybe
here's my favorite part of the movie. I know you don't like this part. All right, so they go...
Stonehenge is the core of Unicron.
All right, they go... He's the center of Unicron. Don't they say that?
I don't know. Again, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay,
Who cares?
I think they say that.
I remember at one point they have to get to Stonehenge. I think it was a Sector 7 guy that told them or something.
Yeah.
And then they jumped in a submarine to get there or something.
No, they jumped in the submarine to go get the staff of Merlin.
Where was that at? Oh!
That was in that ship.
It was in a ship?
Which is part of Unicron.
Okay.
It is.
We haven't even talked about, which has got to be one of my favorite parts of this movie. It's where British Megan Fox takes Mark Wahlberg back to look for their staff. Like, my father has this staff lying around somewhere. He has so much stuff. It's not even that. Like, that's like that was actually kind of humorous, I thought. And but they're up there and they're like, there's so much stuff here. We got to start looking. Mark Wahlberg, the first thing he does is he takes a statue and smashes it. The next scene, you see him putting his foot through a painting. And I'm like, you're not even searching. You're literally destroying things. Like, she's at least, like, going through books, and he's smashing things. I'm like, Mark Wahlberg, do you not know what searching is? You really think if you put your foot through this painting, the staff is going to be on the other side? No. It's just the floor on the other side. Like, it's like, he just starts breaking things. It's like, you're not doing anything. It's like so ridiculous. It's like it's like who directed this scene? Like, who's like, oh, this is good. This is good. Mark Wahlberg. All right, in this scene, Cade Yeager is searching for his staff. Okay, I'll take it from here. He just starts breaking things. Like, Mark Wahlberg, I'm not sure.
That's how a guy named Cade Yeager searches for shit, okay?
Maybe he's been so famous for so long, when he loses something, he breaks things until his assistants find it for him. Where are my keys? Oh, man. And then, yeah, it's all sexual innuendo. All these older women are downstairs, like, yeah, look, do it harder. And they're like,
smash that.
British Megan Fox has been celibate for quite some time. She needed this.
All right, that part where they're like,
they're trying to get
you're a hoarder.
What was that?
Are they implying that she keeps crap up her asshole?
Yeah, there was
one. What the hell?
Was some line like, "Oh, you're a hoarder." I'm like, is that an innuendo, or is that just banter? Like, doesn't make any sense.
All right. So,
oh my goodness,
that was a great scene.
I love that scene. I'll watch that scene over again. And then the car chase with Cogsburn's driving Anthony Hopkins, and he's like flicking people off, and Cogsman's like, "Bitch, get out the way," whatever. Like, yeah.
He says, "Move, bitch, get out the way, get out the way."
I love it, dude. Like, that was like, I'm like, they're trying to be funny, and I'm laughing. Like, that was one of the scenes that actually did something for me.
All right, what about a scene that did something for me? So this was a scene I liked.
God.
You don't like this scene, obviously. So
we're getting to it, aren't we?
Okay. I don't want to say the core Unicron, because I said that was at Stonehenge. So Unicron, which is a ship, I don't know, whatever.
He's like a planet transformer.
Yeah, I know what Unicron is, but this.
Oh, in this context.
Yeah.
Who
knows?
They
go down to get Merlin's staff. They open his coffin, and
Wahlberg
insults the corpse of Merlin.
I forgot about this.
It's like he's a freaking corpse, dude.
Yeah.
He's been dead for like thousands of years.
He's his skeleton with his huge beard.
Like, what do you
his flowing beard.
Yeah. I love on the Slash Film Cast when Paul Scheer is like, did you think he was going to be alive? If he would have been alive, I would have pissed my pants and laughed.
That would have been amazing. Boo! Yeah. I'm back.
No, he comes alive. Boo! And then Optimus Prime walks in and beheads him immediately.
Merlin was funny. At the very beginning, Merlin was funny. Like, he was like sitting there drinking and stuff and like just getting drunk. I thought Merlin was funny.
So his alcoholism was funny to you.
It was hilarious.
All right, so Unicron, the ship, whatever, bullshit, rises out of the ocean.
One of his horns?
Yeah, or something.
The ship they're on?
Yeah, the ship they're on begins to ascend.
The one with Merlin in it.
Yeah.
How'd Merlin get underwater?
I don't know.
Okay, who cares?
All right, nobody
Is this the ship from the beginning where he found the Knights of Iacon and they gave him the staff? Is it that ship?
It didn't look like that ship.
Okay.
This was more of a round ship. That was more of like just a vertical ship. Anyway, so they get the staff. They're underwater before this thing starts to ascend. And this is when Nemesis Prime, who hasn't been in the movie for like 2 hours, just walks in. I'll be taking that or something. Like, it was the most unoriginal, uninspired line of dialogue.
That's half of this movie is uninspired lines. The other half is telling you what's going on.
Exposition. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So this is great.
Yeah.
It begins to ascend. And he's just walking out of there with the staff, and Bumblebee is like, hell no.
Yeah.
So they get in this. I really think that this is an epic fight. I love this scene. They're fighting, and
Nemesis and Bumblebee.
Yeah. We played the trailer before we started this review where it's like, I'm sorry, my friend.
Yeah.
But he never utters that line.
Nor would it make sense in context. Because being mind controlled is bad.
For these films.
What? Yeah, sure. It's fair.
All right. So they're fighting. Bumblebee's really holding his own. And all of a sudden, Optimus is about to kill Bumblebee. And Cade Yeager whips out the talisman. which now has become a sword.
Totally
which is
forgot about
their sword.
Yeah.
And he stops Optimus's sword.
Sting!
And all of a sudden, Optimus, does he come to right then?
No.
When does he come to?
When Bumblebee speaks to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How did I forget that? Dang.
Now, that's the best part of this movie, Brad.
It didn't make any sense for why it would happen.
Well, no, you know how Bumblebee hasn't been able to talk through 4 movies, and at the beginning of 5, they made sure to establish the fact that you remember Bumblebee cannot talk.
Which I like, he talks in clips, but...
I absolutely hate that.
You hated that in the first movie?
No, the first movie, cool. By the time the second movie, I'm like, well, he still doesn't have his voice box, and it's like, it's stupid throughout. And he got a voice box in this one, but it was a girl's voice. So he ripped it out of his throat.
Started smashing it like Mark Wahlberg does.
I ain't no chick. But yeah, oh God. Optimus is evil, being mind controlled. He's been like reprogrammed. He's of his software rebooted. And Bumblebee, who can't talk, we've established can't talk, he talked. And Optimus is like, oh, I'm good now.
I'm your
like,
oldest friend. Like, he had an epiphany. He got through to him.
Oh,
like, was that?
That's amazing.
Okay. I can't
That's
believe
awful.
I don't understand your problem with this scene.
It's so stupid.
No, look, hold on.
Okay.
Your problem with this scene, it seems to me that it should be, why is Bumblebee talking? Because
that's problem one. That's problem one.
It makes no sense why he'd be able to talk. Because they've already established they couldn't replace his voice box. He ripped out the girls.
They made a point to establish he couldn't talk in this movie.
I understand that problem.
Okay.
But the fact that he talks and gets Optimus to snap out of it and come to, he broke through to him.
No, it's stupid.
You can say it's stupid, but
it could work in a better movie. It's like, I'm fine with the movie.
That's happened in many movies.
Sure, the power of love has broken the spell, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Optimus didn't go down and meet his maker, and the maker's like, hey, how about this? What if we do this? And Optimus is like, well, I'm normally on the good guys, but you've convinced me, and I'll go down there. And I believe in this so much, no matter who gets in my way, I'm going to do it. And Bumblebee's like, Optimus, you've lost your way. What are you doing? Look at what you've become. Oh my God, what have I done? No, it's like Optimus is being mind controlled. And it's like, Optimus, I'm your oldest friend. Oh, okay, well, crap, my bad. Like, he's just like, spell's broken, which again, it's just so cheesy. It's such a cheesy thing to happen, and this movie, they can't pull it off.
But the movie really hits the shitter in the 4th act, because it's Michael Bay. We gotta have a 4th act.
This movie hit the shitter during the original junkyard scene and never looked back. It just started spraying things on the walls from that point
But
out.
even I in that 4th act was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
the dragon comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, but they're like, they're ascending, and then they jump out of the plane. It's like, okay.
I don't remember what was going on.
Like, why are you? It's like, okay,
is Cybertron ascending?
Okay, not Cybertron. Cybertron's on a crash course with Earth.
Cybertron's touching Earth at this point. He's got his little tendrils all over the place and stuff. As far as I remember, there's like honeycomb things. That was Cybertron, was it not?
I guess, yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
You have Earth, which is now Unicron, which is Cybertron, is crashing. I guess that makes sense. So they're trying to get high enough in the atmosphere to get to wherever they want to be on Cybertron. They're skydiving to that, and the little girl sneaks on.
Oh, yeah,
like,
Isabella's
hey, J-Lo.
back. Yeah, little J-Lo. I don't know about keeping you around, little girls. Well, mister, I'm real good at working on Transformers. Well, what do you do with the, You do with Thingamabob. Oh, okay, you're good to stay. How about, what a heartwarming scene that was, Brad. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Mark Wahlberg in his spare time, he's the only American who watches, like, Formula One racing. Like,
Transformers are different, but it's like, it's so stupid.
It's like, okay. Because I'm the Transformers guy.
It's just a scene where stuff is happening and it continues to happen and it keeps happening. You're like, why is this scene still like ongoing? Like, it's just.
What were your thoughts when it was revealed that the last night was in fact Mark Wahlberg?
That's what my mind was doing. My mind was just like,
What about the scene when the talisman went down Wahlberg's pants?
Oh, that was great. That was wonderful. What was this talisman? One of my favorite scenes is how one of the Transformers sees Mark Wahlberg with the talisman and says, "This talisman will never leave you." Meanwhile, the talisman has fallen to the ground and is no longer on Mark Wahlberg. It's like, I'm pretty sure you spent the opportune time to talk about how this talisman will never leave him. What was the point of the talisman?
Remember before they go to England, not the Autobots, the Decepticons that they spent 10 minutes negotiating their freedom, they're dead in 3 minutes. Just kill them. And like, it's easy. Like, this little girl and Mark Wahlberg's assistant pretty much wipe them out.
Why do we have to have a new government group every time? Like, what is it, Transformers Resistance Force or something?
TRF.
Yeah, it sounds like a Power Rangers.
It's more like WTF for this movie.
But no, but like every movie since like the second one has like some sort of like Transformers group either working with or against them. Like they had a group that was working against them. Remember they came to get Optimus at the beginning of Age of Extinction. Yeah.
Sector 7, right? No,
that wasn't Sector 7. That's true. They had Sector 7 in the first one, yeah. So it's like every Transformers, they have like a new government agency specifically for Transformers.
You know who should have been the last knight? John Turturro. If he was the last knight.
No. It should have been Shia LaBeouf's roommate from Revenge of the Fallen. He just comes up out of nowhere.
No, can you imagine this?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Optimus is about to swing the sword and kill
Yeah.
In full night like regalia.
Yeah.
It's John Turturro.
Yeah.
And he's flanked by his henchmen, the two racist robots. Yeah. And he just stops the sword.
What about Isabella?
Enough.
Isabella just comes out of nowhere. Oh, I love this scene where Anthony Hopkins, I think he tries to attack Megatron Stonehenge, and Megatron like blows him up.
He murders him. Like,
yeah, and so Anthony Hopkins is sitting in this crater. He's like a guy blown up. And you see everybody run up. You see Mark Wahlberg, all these other Transformers. They all run up. And there's no scene with Anthony Hopkins. Mark Wahlberg gives a speech or something, and they cut, and Cogsman is the only one with Anthony Hopkins.
Mark Wahlberg would have insulted his corpse.
He wasn't dead yet. There was still time for Cogsman to give the moving eulogy that he was the coolest guy he'd ever known. Of all the people I've served, you were the coolest.
Now, he wasn't a Witwicky. He was the keeper of the Witwicky order. So
right.
We're not including Shia LaBeouf in that.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, was I the only one that left this movie and I was like, I want to watch the first one because...
No, I do. It left me wanting to watch the first one just because I wanted to be like, I used to like this franchise. It's hard. I
watched it after we watched Age of Extinction.
I haven't seen it since probably before I watched number 3.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while.
We need to do a commentary track on that.
I think this is one of those rare experiences, though, because I've gone back and seen number 1 since watching 2. I think it's one of those rare occurrences where the later films can actually hurt the earlier films, because some of the things that are kind of cute and charming in the first one, they just do it ad nauseum. Like again, like the Transformers doing little blurbs in the background, like they do that in the first one. It's like, okay, cool, they're all living Transformers, neato. And it's like, it's so annoying now that I'm afraid to go back to watch the first one and be like, oh, Jazz, just shut up. Rest in peace, Jazz. I wish they'd bring him back.
I brought this up to Amos.
Okay.
Now, Steven Spielberg is a producer on these films.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times you see, like, Stan Lee, a producer on a Marvel film, it's name only.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, for example, Spielberg helped get the franchise up and running at Paramount and all this. Obviously, he's a living legend. And they just put his name on the subsequent sequels. Now, he's still involved.
Yeah.
Because I read this in Empire Film Magazine. He called Cogsman the best character under 4 feet since Yoda. He literally said this on the record. It's like, what? All right, I can't say anything more. I mean,
at least Cogsman was Cogsman. A lot of people, he's a negative. He was a positive.
All right, I've reviewed this movie 4 times.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't have anything else left to say.
No, here's the thing, and a lot of people seem to like this, and to me, it's just so stupid. It's the first time, if I remember correctly, the first time Bumblebee shows up, and he's learned a new move, which is to break himself into a million pieces,
like one of
to
those
fall
crash
apart.
test dummies.
Yeah,
remember those?
He comes up and just falls apart. I'm like, oh wow, this is advanced, advanced robot fighting here. Way to go, Bumblebee.
I do like that chase scene that you liked, where Cogsman is flipping people off and stuff. In which Bumblebee
didn't Anthony Hopkins flick somebody off?
Yeah, both did.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee takes himself apart and just takes out some guys with his arms. And that was cool. Mark Wahlberg's face looks like he's having an orgasm. He's like, oh.
What does damage even mean in these movies?
Damage?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's like Bumblebee can rip himself apart to fight people.
Code on a game, you can't take any damage.
That's what it's like. One person gets like shot once and that Transformer just dies. And then Bumblebee breaks himself into a million pieces. And like, this is like an advanced fighting move.
All right, so are you excited for the 6th one? All right, so here was the rumor that the 6th one, was going to take place on Cybertron.
Well,
Cybertron's been destroyed, hasn't it?
I mean, Cybertron is Earth or whatever.
No, that's Unicron.
No. But I mean, it's right there. Did it get destroyed? I remember it's at Earth. I just assumed it was right next to Earth.
This is our home now. At the end of the movie, he once again says, "Calling all Transformers."
Yeah, that's what he did in the first one,
and the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one, and the 5th one. It's like, have they not got the message, dude? They're not going to show up.
Well, they're always moving.
But
maybe they're in range now.
Hold on. In the beginning of the movie, they make a point to say they just keep arriving, and we don't know why. It's because at the beginning of every movie, Optimus Prime's like, "This is your beacon. This is your new home." It's like, that's why they're showing up.
Yeah. That's why they're trying to get rid of even the Autobots. Like, all right, enough. Even the Autobots got to go. So I can't remember number 3 that well.
Okay. That's where I have the battle.
I'm trying to remember what happened with 4.
Really badass.
But is the plot of these movies exactly the same for all 6 of them or all 5 of them? It's that the main characters have something that the robots want, and the robots fight over it until the good guys
win. The 1st
and
2nd one are definitely that. What is the 4th one that way?
I can't remember.
I know the 4th one's not that way.
They got Optimus.
What are they even trying? Oh, they're trying to stop Galvatron in the 4th one.
But they're trying to stop Galvatron and the humans and like everybody and their mother. They're trying to stop it.
Optimus Prime's like an asshole throughout these movies,
especially in the 4th one.
I mean, he just kills somebody in the beginning of the 4th one, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's fine.
Why?
Because the humans were against him. I liked it. I was like, yeah, like they're doing something different.
Funny that scene of Cogsman where there'll be a special edition. He rides by flicking the humans off as Optimus Prime chopping them up.
But it's like, but that's the thing. Like Optimus has always been, we can't hurt the humans. I mean, this is their planet. We have to respect that.
But he murders.
In the 4th one, he's like, I'm done with this.
I love the line when Mark Wahlberg's like, I've aligned myself with one of the greats, Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime.
Who's killed countless humans in the past 2 movies.
Gotta go find my maker. It was pretty
Where
easy.
would you rank this movie? Like, I want you to rank the Transformers movies from worst to best. Okay, I'm assuming you rank this one the worst, right?
This one is below number 2 for me.
Okay, so this is the worst one.
It's just nonsense. It almost feels like they gave up. Like, I've had a dream for a while.
It was like Cogsman just flipped off the audience like he is breaking the 4th wall.
I've had a dream where I would like to one day have enough money to make a huge blockbuster action film and write a plot that makes monumentally no sense at all, but hire the best directors to do, like, action and CGI.
That's what this is.
And that's what it's almost like they made that movie for me. It's really not that bad. It's not my ideal standard of nonsense that I'd like to make, but it's pretty. I just want to see if people will flock to this awful movie. Just turn your brain off, man. Watch the action. But the guy killed himself in the first scene, and he's there in the end. Just turn your brain off. You're thinking about it too much, man. It's nonsense, man. It's just it's awful. The worst part.
So this is the worst movie.
The worst part is those aspect ratios. It's like constantly it's to me like as if the bottom corner of the screen, they just had what camera filmed that. Like it's like as you're watching scenes, it's constantly camera 1, camera 2, camera 4, camera 2, camera 3. Like it's just that. It's like constantly for 2.5 hours screaming, "This is a movie." Don't ever forget, even if you can for a second suspend disbelief and believe in a world where alien robots have come to Earth and are battling over Merlin's staff, if you can believe that, Just remember this is a movie. Hey, you're watching a movie. It's awful. Like it's a genuine, to me, a genuine problem with the movie.
So you would, to go back to my original question, this is the worst
by far.
All right, so you would go this one, then Revenge of the Fallen,
then
3
then
Age of Extinction.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I really don't remember Dark of the Moon that well.
Rank them. I would rank.
And then the original number 1, of course.
Number 1 is the best one.
Yeah.
Dark of the Moon is by far and away the second best one.
Okay.
I think it's a good movie.
I really don't remember it that well.
You need to go. I think you should revisit that. I know you won't anytime soon, but I think you should.
I might watch the first one here soon.
The Last Night, I think, is
I'm
tied
rolling my
with
eyes at
Revenge
you.
of the Fallen. And then the worst, I think,
Age of Extinction,
is
really?
the worst, yeah.
See, to me, that was like the first 45 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is good. They're really turned this franchise around, and then they add in like 5 plots. Yeah, and then there's like 5 things going on.
Okay, what would you rate this film? I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give this, and I know this is we've debated whether this is even a real thing. I'm going to give it half a crap.
Okay.
Not even a full crap. Half a crap.
It'd be like a 0.5.
0.5 out of 5. Or 1 out of 10. 0.5 out of 5. Yeah. If we can't give 0, I'm giving him a point for effort.
All right.
I mean, it made me laugh a couple times.
You're making me want to change my rating on this.
You gave it a good and a half.
I gave it a good and a half.
Not to take your thunder, but you've already reviewed this. You gave it a good and a half.
Yeah, I don't.
Which I want to point out, good and a half is what I rated Wonder Woman. So I don't know what that says about you, me, Wonder Woman, or Transformers, but it says something about somebody.
Okay, I'm gonna not change my rating. I'm gonna keep it good and a half. You can't change it. I based it on my enjoyment of the movie.
That's fine.
I think that this is.
But see, that's the thing. I didn't even enjoy it. Like I'm sitting here, like it's crazy because this movie feels like it's way too fast paced, while at the same time taking forever. Like it feels like you're watching a 2.5 hour trailer. Is what it feels like. Like, it's just insane. Like, I'm literally, like, I didn't want to pull my phone out because I didn't want to ruin the enjoyment of, like, the people around me to be constantly checking the time. But it was like I was just waiting for this film to be over. You were talking about how you really liked that Optimus Bumblebee scene, that even if you didn't care for the movie overall, that scene was really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When that scene when I got inside seeing the movie, I was hoping for it to end as soon as possible. Like, please just stop fighting because I know it's near the end. Like, it just stopped caring, like, altogether. And again, it's worth saying, I did not go into this film expecting to like it. I hope I went in with an open mind because I like to go into any film, whether it's the first or the fifth of a franchise and how I feel about it. I like to go in with an open mind. But yeah, I did go in not expecting very much, and I think it was even a little worse than I expected, to be honest. It wasn't even that enjoyable.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Mondo just announced they're gonna do a timed edition of a Spider-Man Homecoming poster by Martin Anson that's available right now through Sunday.
Oh, that's crazy. So if you're listening to this, you've missed it.
Yeah, you have. Sorry, that makes no sense. So I'll have to listen back to this and ask myself, did I pick up that poster? All right, Andrew Stokes. I mean, I can't say anything else more about this film. I'll say a good and a half based on my enjoyment. You say a half a crap.
Have I said everything I want to say?
You can always bring it back up on future episodes. What do you think about Optimus Prime being off screen for 2 hours in the movie?
Yeah, I thought that was dumb.
Well, my defense of that was we all agree the first movie is the best movie, but it's the same thing in the first movie.
But in the first movie, they're building up to it.
I got
you. Barely see.
That makes sense.
At the very beginning, you hardly see any Transformers. And it's like they're building up. You know he's coming. You know what I mean? And it's like finally Optimus shows up. It's like, it's Optimus. And you get the whole scene in the alley with like all the Transformers. And it's really cool. You know what I mean? But Bumblebee, how long is it before he transforms? You see him like in the distance. You know what I mean? In the junkyard or whatever, transformed and stuff. So this one, it's like you're here for Optimus. You know what I mean? After you're here for 2 things. The trailer is focused, okay, maybe on 3 things. The trailer is focused on Mark Wahlberg. You get plenty of Mark Wahlberg, and Mark Wahlberg's fine. Optimus, you hardly get any Optimus, and Isabella, and you hardly get any Isabella. Based on the trailers, I thought this movie was Mark Wahlberg and Isabella and Optimus.
He was badass Cade Yeager when he first showed up in that leather jacket. God,
we're not
cool.
gonna take it.
Cool.
And what? So what are those robots that were trying to kill the kids at the beginning? These are the government's robots.
I like how the kids just like, oh, these kids are going to be important. Then they're just like completely ignored.
You have a big heart.
Yeah.
Thanks, kid. In case you didn't
was
get
that
it.
a euphemism or something? I mean, what was that supposed to be?
Yeah.
Right.
You're a very caring person. You're going to be important for the next 2 hours. But she wasn't. She wasn't important at all.
I'm going to wrap up this edition.
That's what I want. I'll take, as little as she was in there, I want a movie with Isabella as well. Isabella and Little Squeaks. Like it seemed like they was going somewhere. And the trailer that focuses on them, I think I've talked about that. I think it was in front of Beauty and the Beast, where it's a trailer that looks like a kid's movie, and it just highlights her. It's all about her and her little robot pal. And they're barely in this movie.
Hates
I guess. Yeah, she's just rude to him. It's weird.
They're gonna recast Isabella when she's 18 or older, so they can overtly sexualize her, and you'll be like, "That's Hispanic Megan Fox."
But I think this is it, Brad.
All right,
because even if
you're gonna go see the next one,
no,
right?
Because I think
if we get a donation.
No, because to me it's like.
It's like
if number 5 was like number 4, we got the donation. I'm very appreciative of that. And if number 5 is like number 4, it's like, okay, whatever. It was awful, but I had fun making fun of it with my friends and stuff. Like this one is just like, man, I regret the time I spent watching this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, like
that's
legitimately. You want to talk about bad? If I didn't have 2 friends there with me and one I specifically had given a ride to, I probably would have left. I never leave during movies. I don't even like the idea of leaving during a movie.
I've only left one movie, Miami Vice, 2006.
And how long was that movie?
Like an hour and 40.
Yeah, it's like this one. See, I knew it's like 2.5 hours. I'm like probably an hour, maybe less than. I'm like, I don't want to watch the rest of this movie. Like
Miami Vice had the most badass trailer though.
Yeah, with the
Linkin Park song,
in the air tonight or whatever.
Oh god, it was good. Okay. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Confirmed Epic Podcast. Andrew Stokes, where can people find more of you?
You can follow me on Twitter at AKA Andrew Stokes. And very, very occasionally I might write something for the Epic Review, epicreview.com.
You'll be getting that shirt shortly, so that's cool. Speaking of our shirts, make sure you go to tpublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell. Pick up one of our shirts. We get $5 from every shirt that goes into the production of this podcast. Thanks to everyone who has bought a shirt and shared our shirt link on the internet. You can find me on YouTube as well. Just search Confirmed Epic Podcast for the new Confirmed Epic Comebacks and the Rapid Reflection series, which I did one on Transformers the last night. My latest one's House of Cards. I released a Confirmed Epic Comeback this morning, so check that out. Trying to put some content out there people can check out while I'm at the beach, so we'll at least have stuff out there. Find me at Geeks Worldwide, thegww.com, and of course, find me at the Epic Review, thepicreview.com, and on Twitter at The Real Brad Bell, REEL, Brad Bell. And from the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, for episode 68 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast, we are out.
That's all I have to say about that.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks, assemble!
All right, Andrew Stokes.
Yeah.
Say something.
Brad cried during Transformers.
I did. It was sad.
Yeah, not as much as he cried during Arrival.
Man.
Or when he cried after Arrival, if you know what I mean. He's a very sensitive lover.